Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this week's Lotus Lounge for August 10th, 2023. And we are in the second month of Kit Kat on strike. For those of you following the saga, it's great.
I don't know if I should be happy or not.
Well, he's out there probably on the picket line right now, wreaking havoc somewhere in the house. So anyway, I'm Chad. This is Keri. We're with Lotus Evolutions Holistic Spa, obviously, and the Lotus Lounge host. We're always the host, though. But we're gonna have some guests.
You really went back to basic.
Oh, we did. But we're gonna have some guests on in the sometime in the near future and such. Some good stories and whatnot. But this week, the topic this week is beauty without chemical sensitivities, and I think you, Keri, had a pretty good description, on the Facebook post about this week's discussion, because you asked the question, do you find yourself to be sensitive to synthetic ingredients? And it's a good question. I mean, a lot of people don't know, or maybe never thought about, or something about it, they're not aware, but it's okay if you do find yourself sensitive. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that do. We're bombarded with all sorts of things in the modern industrial age. People always have been, but it's over recent history, the past couple centuries, there's just a lot more things that we have to deal with, that our bodies have to adapt to and overcome, and learning more and being aware of things information is key. It helps us counter and battle. And the purpose of this week's topic and discussion is that, Keri, you're going to explain some of your own sensitivities to chemicals, mostly synthetically derived, that prompted you to ask the question, what is beauty, and is it worth the possible decline of health? And I think that's a really good question, because there's as you said, in the skincare industry, there's a lot of gimmicky stuff. There is in a lot of places, and some don't, some intentional, some unintentional, but it's a great topic. And I think, it helps, we've touched on some of this stuff before, but we're kind of focusing in on this area more so this time. So with that, I'm going to throw it over to you and kind of let you go through your personal story, and then it's all you.
Yay, it's all me. Well, I think there's something you said that a light bulb went off. And when I went to aesthetic school, which was 20 years ago, we were taught that the skin was a barrier, that nothing got through it. And so I think with that in mind, many products were formulated with that belief that it just sits topically, or it goes, the depth is very little into even the dermal layer of the skin. It just really sits at the top. And now we understand and know that the skin eats. It is an organ. It is permeable in the sense that it does take in about 70% of what we apply to it. So it's really important to be cognizant of what you're applying to your skin. And it's really important to be mindful of how you're responding to certain treatments or ingredients. And that leads me to my story. I mean, I've always been sensitive. My body does not like chemicals at all. Well, synthetic chemicals, let me be clear. So throughout my life, I've had reactions to things. When I get my hair done, I'm always asking for no toner, because when they put the highlights in, that's fine, because they're not really touching my scalp. But then when they put the toner on, it's like, whoa, my whole scalp is on fire. And, it's very uncomfortable. And I'm always thinking too, the scalp is one of the areas of skin that absorbs a lot through the hair follicle. So you got to be really careful what you're putting on your scalp. And often I thought, okay, this is at the expense of my health, but it's for beauty. It's to look good. And so then I just started asking for no toner. However, I don't always like my color without toner. So you got that issue. Then in recent months, I used to get my lashes done, and I loved getting my lashes done. In fact, I didn't feel done or made up or myself without them. And that's probably, I've been getting them done for quite consistently for the past 5-6 years. And just recently, I started to react to the fumes and the glue. And I would leave my appointments with somewhat of a headache, and my eyes would feel very fatigued. And I thought, wow, I started thinking that it was getting in my eye, which my technician assured me it's not getting in your eye. It's the fumes that are bothering your eye and your eyes. And so that got me thinking further, like, wow, this is pretty intense. Do I really want to continue doing this when my eyes and my head is bothering me? Probably not. And in the past, I've gotten my brows tinted, a henna tint, and I responded poorly to that. My brows itched for an entire week. High reaction to that.
Well, that was supposed to be a natural product, but
Yeah.
sometimes there's the question. So, I mean, I think that one highlighted a good thing that people need to be aware of. Some things may not be as described. So anyway, I didn't want to throw it. It's just I thought it was a good point to mention there. So,
well, it's a great point, because I thought, oh, it's henna. I know what henna is. It's an herb, it's good, and you have this misconception, and then you have this highly reactive experience, and
something else may have been added to it too. So who knows?
Well, we'll do another show. We'll do another Lotus Lounge just on that in the near future. But also numbing cream. I've gotten a number of treatments, whether it be microneedling or laser treatment, because I did do laser training once I moved out here to Arizona, and they have to numb the face. And my skin was very sensitive to the numbing cream.
Okay.
And I did not like having my face numbed. Just did not. It just didn't sit well with me. And then let's just go above and beyond beauty, and let's just talk about laundry detergent and dryer sheets. You know how much I hate dryer sheets. Right? I hate dryer sheets. Oh my gosh. And I'm so sorry for those who are watching, but if Chad and I are out walking and I smell dryer sheets, I just like go into a tizzy.
It just goes kafoof. It's like, that's the only thing she notices. I mean, you can often tell somebody's doing laundry, but Keri can tell from like 5 miles away. So
yeah.
The one thing you didn't mention that on the list was also fragrances, which can be, we've talked about that in the past. They don't necessarily need to be listed because of the proprietary mixtures that some companies use.
Right.
And so we won't get too far into that, but so you're looking for something that's more natural with essential oils and such. But
well, I'm glad you brought up fragrances, because I am highly reactive to fragrance.
Yeah.
I usually, again, I'll just use this as an example. When I get my hair done, I opt, please don't put anything in my hair. No hairspray, just let it be. Because I just don't.
But that goes to the dryer sheet fragrance, which is what really throws you over the top.
Over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and everything we touched on, sort of intro the show this way too, it also all these things sort of also gave you pause and made you think clearly there have to be other people
Oh, of
have
course.
issues with this. And, I know this has led you to question, what is beauty? Because you've asked me, like, do you notice this or do you notice that? And like for me, it's kind of like extremes. Like, oh, I'm not going to really notice if you've had your toenails or your nails done unless they're like really extreme one way or the other. They're really over the top, or they're really, they're really super artistic, or they're super not.
Or like if toes have fungus all over.
Yeah. 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 I didn't want to go there, but you stepped in there.
I'm just saying, you said
So,
extremes.
I know. I was trying to be nice. So, but anyway, I mean, you have a very natural look. A lot of people really strive for the natural look. That's, you see a lot of people go they're getting their nails done because they think it makes them look good. There's everybody, if you haven't known, I mean, talking about fragrances and such, nail salons, if I'm too close to one, that knocks me over. It's like, ugh, how do they not burn their lungs in these places? But that goes, let's move on to so what I just asked you, that led you to question, what is beauty?
What is beauty?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And
because you're no longer doing certain things. Yeah.
And so what I just shared, my story, it has led me to take my lashes off. And it's like, okay, I'm taking my lashes off. I like the look of thick, luscious lashes. So what am I going to do to care for them in such a way that they grow nicely and beautifully on their own? Also, I stopped wearing polish, and I just figure I'm not wearing lashes. And honestly, I don't have a desire to wear polish, but it's made me question.
Do you need to do it?
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's another example. And then yesterday when I went to get my hair done, she put more of my natural color back, and she did not tone me, but she just put low lights in. And I'm going to grow more of my natural color out. And maybe here and there, like little highlights around my face, but nothing that's going to like touch my scalp, or no more toner. I just want to see what nature intended for me. And honestly, and blondes like to be blonde. All you blondes out there, am I right? If you're blonde, you like to be.
Oh, I used to be blonde. Never mind.
Yeah. Yes, you were blonde. Yeah, I know your brows. But usually you're afraid to go darker. And so I was like, the girl that does my hair, and I have to mention, she uses an eco-friendly, somewhat organic line. It's much more gentle. I'm sure there's chemicals in there because there has to be, but it's a lot less. And I just love that gentle aspect of getting my hair done. I don't want to feel like I'm tortured. It feels like a chore as it is. But anyway, I said, just do it. And so she's like, okay, let's do it. And I didn't really have any expectations, to be honest. But then after she was done, I said, my natural color, I think it looks better with my skin tone. This might be a good thing. And so just lowering the amount of upkeep, and really focusing, because when you decide, okay, I'm reactive, I'm sensitive, I'm not going to do these things anymore, then that leads you and gives you leeway, not just with time, but where you're going to apply money, or, what am I going to do in lieu of, so I feel and look the best I can at the age I'm at. and feel really good about it. So
Yeah.
it's redefining beauty. Just because everyone gets their nails done and yeah, it looks beautiful, it looks great. For me, being as sensitive as I am, it's just not for me. And
Mhm.
I want to speak to others who have similar sensitivities or similar um, concerns about chemicals being applied, or maybe there's people that have illnesses and they really need to put their health and their immune system
Take a
first.
little, help take a little stress off their systems.
Yes, you said it perfectly, Chad. Yes,
Yeah.
they need to take stress off their
Symptoms.
yeah,
Yeah.
systems. Thank you. They need to take stress off their systems. And so it's reducing the toxic load. There's certain things that we have control over,
Hmm.
and this is one of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm jumping a little to the side from it because, um, my past experience was, years ago, living in the desert climate was, okay, I've been outside. I need to moisturize. I'll put some lotion on my skin. Okay, well, that ain't going to do it. As we know, it's it's a Band-Aid. Maybe you feel a little moisturized for a bit, but it's not a fix. It's a Band-Aid. It's just topical. It's not from the inside out or the outside in. That's a component, but it's not really a fix.
Well, wait a minute, Chad. I don't entirely agree with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's all I was doing back in the day.
Yeah, but you were also using like an over-the-counter drugstore brand.
Sure.
It's not like it was like you're using all these nourishing
That's true.
butters and it was highly concentrated butters and oils, cold press, highly nutrient dense that you were applying to your skin. It
Yeah.
was all refined stuff.
No, good stipulation. It was like an OTC, an over the counter, off the shelf, standard name brand, not gonna really do anything for you, as it turns out. And then also just focusing, like you made a good point too, but focusing on what's going to help. I feel like a lot of people, we were talking nails and hair and things like that. A lot of women in particular, some may focus on doing some things to help them when they need to direct elsewhere to help their system, take some stress off. If you're getting older and we're not as good a shape, or we're having some issues with this or that. But if they're doing a lot of nail stuff and a lot of eyelash stuff and a lot of hair stuff to help them feel like they're looking good, there may be inadvertently or unintentionally perpetuating stressing their system. And so that's complicating other efforts to maybe like improve diet and lose weight or physical activity or just some other aspects of, they may be actually unintentionally impeding themselves from making positive progress in other areas by keeping unnecessary stress on their systems. So,
well, and you are making a really valid point, and it makes me think about that supermodel, Elle Macpherson.
oh
She
yeah,
started a hair care. No, she started a brand. It targets within.
mm-hmm.
There's supplements,
Yeah,
but
mm-hmm.
she started in her marketing stating beauty through wellness.
Yeah,
And that is just a beautiful statement of redefining beauty because
mm-hmm.
I mean, when I was watching her marketing campaigns, I'm like, absolutely 100%. I agree with you. And this woman is
Mm-hmm.
60 something.
Yeah,
Now, granted, we know she has the money and
yeah.
know she's done things. She's admitted that she's done things in the past, like, fillers
Cosmetics,
and Botox,
tweaks. Yes,
but she doesn't do it now, or at least that's what she claims. And I
yeah.
hope that she's being honest. And I think she is. When I listen to her speak, you can feel the intention of somebody's
Well,
words.
but a lot of that, what you said, within the stuff is like what we've talked about too. That's some of the exciting stuff that we'll probably expand on later. People have heard us talk about the Protandim, NRF2, and the liquid collagen, and that combination has been, the new studies are showing, significantly helps take stress off your system. And we won't get on nuts and bolts of that because it's there's a lot of scientific talk, but the fact is it helps your body stop sending out the signals like there's trouble unnecessarily, and your body being constantly revved up when it doesn't need to be. And that's a lot of the wellness from within, working the outside and vice versa. So.
Well, and like we had discussed together, Chad, we're going to highlight those points.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to outline those points today.
Yeah.
And then the next few weeks, we're going to delve in a little bit more in depth.
Mm-hmm. So there's a teaser. There's a teaser, folks. Yeah. Yeah,
this is a teaser. And so this leads into the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's good
what
stuff.
What am I focusing on now that I'm redefining beauty and I'm accepting myself in a more natural state and not exposing myself to synthetic chemicals.
Yeah.
So I have these listed. Okay, so the first thing is all my makeup is organic and as natural as possible. We carry amazing makeup. And we will delve into that, but we're going to combine makeup with organic skincare. And that is going to be next week's talk.
Okay.
Organic skincare, organic hair care, and organic makeup.
Okay.
Then I'm focusing on collagen and Protandim and being real consistent with that. And why am I doing that? Why is that my new focus? Okay, so that will be
everybody's focus. Yeah.
And what you said, Chad, we're going to delve deeper into. Then the next thing is our BiCal treatments, which that are very exclusive to the area. We are going to dive deeper into BiCal and why you would want to consider choosing BiCal over other types of anti-aging treatments. And then the last thing I'm focusing on is diet and exercise. So basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 weeks of discussion.
Oh, good.
And the whole topic is redefining beauty. And it's going to be redefining beauty through organic skincare, redefining beauty through collagen and Protandim activation, redefining beauty through BiCal microcrystal derma infusion treatments, redefining beauty through diet and exercise.
Oh, sounds pretty exciting. I hope Kit Kat is working on getting all this production put in place. Oh, wait, he's still on strike. Never mind. I guess we'll work on it. So, okay. Well, I think we got a pretty good outline. We did for the upcoming segments of our lovely Lotus Lounge. And with that, let's wrap up and say, okay, thank you, everybody. We will talk to you next week.
See you next week.